Terri, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Hi, I'm Kim Childs.
And I'm Terri Schneider. This is our Busy Burnett Real Estate and Lifestyle Podcast.
We love what we do, and we hope you enjoy our podcast.
So today we're going to be talking about, should we be staging in this market and does it work? Kim, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I love that question because I think a lot of sellers are thinking, hey, I don't really need to do much. I just need to throw my home out there and it's just going to go for a gazillion over ask, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, houses are going a gazillion over ask.
They are, but the thing is, the ones that are, I think the same tenants that we've always had still apply, maybe not to the same extent, but I think to the extent that you can pull your house together, have it show its very best, you are going to ensure that you're going to get top dollar. And it really is. So maybe it was going to go over anyway. Maybe it'll go over a lot more with pulling it together and staging it.
So what do you consider staging? I mean, tell our audience a little bit about what we do with our staging.
Yeah, well, I think there's a couple different types of staging. One is you have a vacant house, and that's one thing. But let's talk about the ones where it's occupied, because that's a little bit more challenging.
And those are the fun ones.
They're fun. Yeah, so basically we take a look at that and we just ask ourselves, what can we do basically using what they already have to augment and rearrange and just help the home show its very best. And what we're trying to do is emphasize the great features of the home and also just make it so that when someone walks into a room, they go, oh, this feels really good. Because buyers really do buy based on emotion. And so we're trying to appeal to that.
Right. Well, and a lot of our buyers, I notice, they do not have the imagination of walking into somebody's home. And if there's so much stuff, where am I going to put my couch? Or is it going to look good there? So staging really helps the future buyer.
Oh, it really does. You're exactly right. Because, well, what most people tend to do, and I know I did with my own home, is you bring stuff in. Like you have a little table under every wall and a picture of it and a lamp. And pretty soon, like, it's so full. And so when somebody comes in that doesn't live there, they're just overwhelmed, right? But you love it because it's your stuff and you brought it.
Right.
So it was funny. Even when I sold my own home, I had my stager come in and she looked around and she literally told me to take about a fourth of the stuff out that I had and told me exactly what to do. And I honestly had friends, when they saw my home on the market, say, is that your house, Kim? Which was really funny. But it, for the first time, really looked together. It brought your eye around everything. Everything felt really good.
It does feel good. I try to live that way, but that's not, it just doesn't work that
I love the listings that we get, Terri, where you go in and you're like, oh, there's nothing to be done.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Few and far between.
Yeah, very few and far between. So I know people are asking, well, should I stage? I had a listing appointment last night and that question came up. And lovely couple, but people live in their house the way that they live in their house, right? So, but there was a lot of furniture. There was, boxes in the corner, maybe exercise bike sitting out. And they're like, the question was, in this market, I shouldn't have to stage because people are going to come in, they're going to look at my house, and they're going to buy it anyway. How do you answer that?
I still think that the basic tenets apply, which is you want your home to show its very best, to make sure and ensure that you are going to get top dollar. And there are buyers still in this market that look at the pictures, and if they don't appeal to them, they don't go view the home.
Right.
Crazily enough, even with such low inventory. It's just very interesting. I'll give you a little example too of something that I just recently experienced. Is I had a new listing and I walked through it, and what I hadn't realized is that they had a lot of very bright paint colors and, cheery to them, whatever, but, not as appealing to the broad masses. And so my recommendations were that they paint several of the rooms. They had already moved and they really didn't want to put the time and effort into it, nor to hire, and they really wanted to get it on the market. And so I said, okay, let's do it. And we were on the market about 3 weeks, had 10 showings, really never had the traction that you expect to get in the seller's market. And as a result, we just made a pretty sizable price adjustment. And a lot of it does have to do with the bright paint and some lack of updates. So it isn't, this market isn't that you just throw your home out there and everyone comes running and you get 10 offers and decide which one you want.
Right, exactly. Well, we had one around the corner from my house that went on the market, and it wasn't staged. And there was there was a pod in the pictures, in the first picture. And it was crazy because, I mean, that's the first thing you see. They're moving. We all know that. That's why their house is being on the market. But you don't want to see the pod. You don't want to see towels on the ottomans, the soaps, shampoo
In the shower,
thing in
yeah.
the shower.
Yeah.
So it just really looked real awful. And the agent, it took 2 weeks to sell it, and she had to do a $10,000 price adjustment because she didn't go in and fix little things or have the clients
Probably
fix it.
had she just done those things that you just talked about, it would have,
I
would
mean,
have sold.
but he had a TV that was 3 feet above the fireplace mantle. Well, they obviously had something there, but you have to fix these things because people, they see that and they're like, well, why do I want to be there?
But that's just it. I mean, I don't want my TV like that, and
Yeah.
they think that's the way.
That it has to be.
Right.
Or even with a small backyard, there was nothing, and they did have a small backyard. Put a little cute little table out there or something to show
kind of
people
show.
that you can do something with a small backyard.
Well, it's funny because one of the things that, Beth, my stager for many years, always tells me is every space needs to have a purpose. So if you can't show a purpose and it's like very strangely, built-ins in a weird place or there's that people and it's blank, they don't know what to do with it either, right? And so even with strange rooms that are different and maybe added on or something, she'll come up with a purpose for it. Maybe it's a card room or a craft room or whatever it is, but it really helps people understand, oh, here's how that could be used. And just like the backyard, even though it's a small backyard, show, hey, here's how you can use this backyard.
Right, it's still usable. Yeah. I love it when we get to go into houses and do this kind of stuff. It's just we call it cooting it up, I guess.
I
Right?
know it. It's so fun. And it's cute what you say, because I just had pictures taken yesterday for a new listing that I'm putting on in Lake Oswego. And she parks her car in the driveway right now. Why? Because the garage is pretty full of stuff that have come out of the house. But anyway, we were getting ready for pictures. She goes, yeah, I think I should move my car. I said, yeah, definitely. Let's put your car in the street so it's not in the pictures, right?
Right.
Because we've all seen pictures where it starts out and the car's in the driveway, and it just tells you right away how much thought and effort was put into getting that home ready to go on the market.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of amazing, isn't it?
It is.
So, what do you think the cost of staging is?
It's all over the board. So if you hire it out, and let's say it's a vacant home, you don't need to stage the whole home. You want to stage the main rooms. Most important thing is as you're walking up to the front door, right, that feels good, that the front door is painted and the trim and the molding. And then whatever you see when you first go inside is very important. And oftentimes it's the entry, the living room, maybe the dining room, maybe the kitchen, that kind of thing. And then, when you get farther and farther away, like the bonus room up in the corner upstairs just isn't as important as those first impressions that you're going to get. And so, you don't have to stage the whole home. But when you hire professional stagers, it can be a little bit expensive, but it can really pay off. That's why people do it.
I was looking on the internet the other day, and I was found some statistics from the National Association of Realtors about staging. Would you like to hear them?
I would, yeah.
47% of buyers' agents cited that home staging had the biggest effect on their buyers' view of the home.
Oh, that's interesting.
82% of buyers' agents said that a staged home made it easier for their buyers to visualize the property as their future home,
Okay.
which is our goal when we go in.
That's what we're going for. Yep.
Staging the living room was found to be the most important for buyers,
Not surprised.
followed by the master bedroom, which is
Interesting.
interesting. Yeah. And staging the kitchen, which we do kitchens
Yes.
all the time.
Yes.
Now, on the seller's perspective,
Yeah.
only 31% of sellers' agents said that they staged their seller's home before listing them.
You know what I think that is, Terry?
Why?
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
That's why, unfortunately. Yeah.
But I will tell you, my neighbor across the street, they're my new neighbors. Their buyer's agent is selling their current home that they have. They're not living in it now. And he came over yesterday and gave me the address to look at it because he wants me to shoot it out to people.
Sure. Yeah.
And because they want to sell it. Beautiful, beautiful home, but it's not staged. It's very brown. There's no color. There's the shampoo bottles in the the showers. I mean, it's just, if it would have been me, and unfortunately it's not, but
Right.
we would have gone in and we would have taken things out and
Yes.
just really cleaned it up. So I'm glad I'm one of those 31%.
Me too. I mean, the whole reason why I started doing this so many years ago, the whole staging thing, which is kind of a big piece of what I bring to the table,
Right.
is because it benefits my sellers.
It does.
And I came to the conclusion that I just have to go all out, right? Because I don't want to leave anything on the table. And I know it makes a huge difference in how your home's perceived, even in the seller's market that we're in.
Right. Well, I told my sellers last night, you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
So true.
And so let's do it right the first time.
Yep.
Do it right, get it done.
Leave no stone left unturned. What I
Right.
don't want to do is we limp out, right? We didn't really stage, it looks bad, and now we're getting all these comments, and now we're going to go back and do it. I like to do everything at the front end and come out just as positive and great looking as we can.
Right.
And then let the chips fall where they may after that.
Yeah. And hopefully top dollar for our sellers.
That's the plan
Because-
every time.
Yep, exactly.
So, Terri, I'm glad we stage. I mean, it's a lot of work, but it makes a huge difference for our clients.
It does.
And I hope some of the information we presented today will be of value.
I think so. I hope so too.
Yeah. So on to fun things, which staging is lovely, but it's a lot of work. It's not fun. What are you up to these days? What do you have planned going on here in the next week?
Well, I'm driving to Bozeman.
Oh my gosh, Bozeman.
So we're leaving on Tuesday morning. We're going to drive to Bozeman to see my son Britton.
Oh, wonderful.
He's there in college, and he didn't come home this summer, and so I miss him. And we're going to drive to Bozeman and go through Yellowstone on our way back, and
Sounds delightful.
7 days later I'll be back.
Yay.
And in the meantime, I have you guys here to help me with my listing.
It's the beauty of a team,
It's-
right?
yeah,
It
'cause-
really is so great.
Yeah, it goes live 2 days after I get back. So I have a lot of work ahead of me right now, and I'll work while
There'll
we're
be things
driving.
there.
But yeah,
Oh, that sounds really fun.
yeah, so that'll be fun. So what do you got planned this weekend?
Well, it's kind of crazy. I have a wedding shower that
Oh.
I'm helping co-host, get the other co-hosts home.
Okay.
And it's a really good friend of my daughter's from high school, and she's in the wedding, so it's just really delightful. And then in the afternoon, I have a virtual baby shower, and I've never done one, but I'm kind of excited about it. It's Disney themed.
Is it on Zoom?
It is on Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're all gonna, I think she will have already opened the gifts, and then she'll just show us all what she got. So we already sent whatever we're doing to her, and she already has it.
Okay.
So that's gonna be really fun.
How fun.
This is a really good family friend, her daughter-in-law that I met when I was pregnant with Cam 36 years ago, right? My oldest. So just really fun. And then, to top it off, my nephew's in town from Texas with his wife and 2 kids, and we're having a big barbecue for my husband's side of the family, so we can all say hi to him and just visit, and that's going to be really fun too. So going to be busy.
Oh, good. It's so nice that it's opening up a little bit. I mean, we're actually going to a women's football game on Saturday night.
Women's football.
Yeah, it's women's pro football.
Wow.
So I've heard of it. I've seen it once. It was at Hillsborough Stadium, but my next door neighbor, his daughter, plays on one of the teams.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
And so I don't know where we're going, but we're going to
sounds
go watch
fun.
women play football.
Kind of a first time for everything, but
Yeah.
good for them.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
It'll be a fun weekend. Besides, we'll see if I'm showing houses because they're all coming on the market right now.
I know.
So.
It's going to be really great. Well, you have a wonderful time of your vacation.
I
want to
will.
hear all about it when you get back.
And you enjoy your grandbabies and your nephew that's coming
We
in.
will.
The Kim and Terri team is made up of Kim, Terri, Darcy, and Beth. Together, they have over 35 years of collective experience in residential real estate. Between them, they've had previous careers in accounting and finance, customer service, sales, and interior design. And some of them did this while being moms. They share a broad background and perspective on real estate, business, and life. They love what they do for a living and the people they get to do it with. If you would like to contact them, they can be reached at busyburnett.com. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.